The Toyota Yaris Cross is a perfect example of a car that is so successful a manufacturer really doesn't want to change anything about it. Because why would they? Last year, Toyota sold more than 200,000 units of the Yaris Cross, making it the most popular Toyota in Europe. All those cars are built in France, which is a bit of a spicy detail because this is the most built car in France. And now Toyota has decided to give the car an update, not a facelift, because the exterior design is pretty much identical to the outgoing version. However, there's a new powertrain and there are some new items in the interior. And in this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about this new Toyota Yaris Cross. I'm going to show you the interior, the exterior, and there are some new items on the exterior. And I'm going to take the car out for a drive. Let's kick the video off by talking about the powertrains in this car, because the powertrains is where the news is at in this renewed 2024 Toyota Yaris Cross. So far you could only get this car with a regular petrol engine and a hybrid powertrain. The regular petrol engine will come to an end in this car. The car will not be available anymore coming from now with the regular petrol engine, which is a bit of a shame because the petrol engine could tow up to 1350 kilograms and the hybrid powertrain that has 160 horsepower can tow up to 750 kilograms. And the hybrid powertrain is now basically the only powertrain left, except from the fact there's a new powertrain, which is also a hybrid powertrain and can still only tow up to 750 kilograms. It has 132 horsepower and 185 newton-meters of torque. So it's a bit more powerful than the hybrid powertrain that was available from the start and still will be available in this renewed version. Now I am driving the new powertrain with 132 horsepower and you can really notice this car has a bit more horsepower. The electric motor is a little bit bigger compared to the electric motor on the 116 horsepower version. The petrol engine is the same. On both versions you get a 1.5 three-cylinder petrol engine, but you can really notice the instant torque from the electric motor. You get a little bit more oomph compared to the 116 horsepower version. And this version will do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 10.7 seconds, which is a half second faster than the version with 116 horsepower. But I think the main advantage of this more powerful version is the fact that the petrol engine doesn't have to work that hard because it has a bigger electric motor. Now the car has a small battery pack and that means the car can drive fully electric, but only for a short amount of time, only for a couple of kilometers. And then the petrol engine will kick in again. But the fuel economy on this car is really good, also with this new, more powerful powertrain. Now the car is more powerful, but it is still not a very powerful car with 132 horsepower and 185 newton-meters of torque. It is plenty for a car this size, and the car does feel adequately fast, but it is not a fast car. Again, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 10.7 seconds is not super impressive, but the car does feel pretty zippy, especially from 0 to 50 kilometers an hour, because then you can feel the electric motor doing most of the work and then you can really feel the instant torque. Now I'm driving the GR Sport version, which is the sporty version. It is not faster, it has the same powertrain, but the suspension setup is a little bit more sporty, but it is not a whole lot sportier compared to the regular version of the Yaris Cross. However, the car does look a little bit more sporty from the outside and the inside. So let's look at the exterior design of this car. The exterior design on the new Yaris Cross really hasn't changed compared to the outgoing model. You do get two new colors, Urban Khaki and Juniper Blue. And now for the first time ever, you get a regular Toyota badge on a hybrid car. Because usually you would get a blue outlining around the Toyota logo on a hybrid car, so you could easily tell it is a hybrid car. But Toyota says that they are selling so much hybrid cars, they basically have to put a blue emblem on every car they are selling. And they don't want to do that. So now for the first time ever, you get a regular Toyota badge on a hybrid car. Now this being the sporty version, the GR Sport version, you get some sporty equipment around the car. You get this honeycomb shape on the grille, on the top side, but also here on the lower part of the grille as well. And you also get these sporty 18-inch wheels. And something else that is new is the key. Now obviously you still get a physical key, this is it. But later this year you can also use the Toyota app on your smartphone as a virtual key. And then you can leave the physical key at home and just use your smartphone to unlock the car, but also start the car, drive the car. And you can use up to 4 or I believe 5 persons to give access to the app and to the car with their smartphone. From the back, the GR Sport also looks a little bit more sportier compared to a regular version of the Yaris Cross. So you get a different back bumper with a pretty big diffuser and a honeycomb design here as well. The boot capacity is a little bit less on the hybrid version, and now you can only get a hybrid version compared to the outgoing regular petrol versions. But there's still plenty of space here for a couple of suitcases and a couple of duffel bags. Now as an option you can get the smart cargo system, which basically means you get a cargo floor that is cut in two, as you can see, and you can set them to different heights, so then you can take smaller and bigger items at the same time a little bit more conveniently. Here in the interior there are also a couple of new items, and according to Toyota, the noise levels should be down in this car because they have used a lot more sound dampening in this car compared to the outgoing version. They have used more sound insulation under the bonnet, and they have also used a little bit more material on the firewall. And all the windows are a little bit more thick, so you get a more thick windscreen in front of you, and also the side windows are thicker compared to the outgoing model. And I have to say, when you're not going that fast, the noise levels in this car are perfect, nothing wrong with them. But if you go on the highway, if you're doing higher speeds, it is still a little bit noisy in the car. It's not too noisy, I would say, and I think if Toyota would never have told me about it, I would never have paid attention to it, but now I am paying attention to it. And I don't think the car sounds particularly quiet, but definitely not noisy, so I guess it's fine. Now something else that is new in the interior are the screens that you get. Now as standard you get a digital gauge cluster now that is 7-inch wide, but you can also get a bigger 12.5-inch digital gauge cluster that I have in front of me. And there's also a new infotainment system that as standard is 9-inch, but you can also get a 10.5-inch screen that again I have in this car. And I think this new screen, this new infotainment system is a big update for this car because there's a lot more compute power. The system is way faster compared to the system on the outgoing model, which was very sluggish and very annoying to operate. I much more prefer this infotainment system. I actually really like this infotainment system because of the compute power it has. It doesn't have any physical buttons anymore, which is a bit of a letdown. You only get a physical button for the volume, so a volume dial. But you don't get the physical buttons that you had on the outgoing model next to the screen. You do, however, get some hotkeys, some shortcuts on the left side of the screen that you can use to go to some certain menus quite quickly. So all in all, this is a very good update. But everything else in the interior is the same. You still get the physical buttons for the climate controls. And the materials overall are a little bit on the cheap side. It's all very plastic, fantastic. It's all hard plastic all around the car. You do get some soft material here in the door panels and some ambient lighting, which looks pretty funky. You also get some new ambient lighting, I believe, on the dashboard. And in this particular GR Sport version I'm driving, you get black headliner and you get these sport seats or more sporty seats, or actually I believe they only look a little bit more sporty because you got red stitching and black material. You get some fake leather, some faux leather on the sides and some soft material on the inner parts of the seats. And I really like the seats actually. They're quite comfortable, but still they do feel a little bit sporty. You also get some aluminum pedals on this GR Sport version. You get a GR Sport logo on the steering wheel and also on the headrest as well. And you also get some red stitching around the gear lever from the automatic transmission. And that's basically everything you need to know about this car. I believe the car starts from around 29,000 euros if you go for the entry-level version with the 116 horsepower hybrid powertrain, but obviously you can spec the car up. This GR Sport version is one of the more expensive versions. Depending on which country you live in, this can be a pretty expensive version. I believe in some countries this car will start from around 41,000 euros. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, hit that subscribe button, and then I'll see you in the next one. Bye.